Hi, Sociology class. This is Amanda Grayson, and I'm here with Alex Patton, and we're going to do an interview over his journey with socialization. Tell me about your demographics.
Well, I'm 27. I'm black. I grew up in Indianapolis. I'm the youngest of seven siblings, three brothers, three sisters. I graduated high school. After high school, I went into trade school, and my demographic is just. I feel like it's a blended pot because it's a lot of diversity throughout my family and just the environments I grew up in.
Okay, what trade school did you go to?
I went to MTI in Brownsburg. It's not a school no more. It got shut down, but I went for welding.
Okay. Characteristics that you were born with?
Some of my characteristics, I would have to say, I got some wittiness, probably from my father. A lot of determination when I set my mind to things from my mom. Probably a little laziness from my dad. And I think I got my kind and loving nature from my mom because she's one of she likes to see people well off or taken care of. So I kind of just adapted that from her naturally.
That's good. What people played a role in shaping the person you are in your life?
The main people, of course, would have to be my mom and my dad. My mom is probably number one for sure. My dad, I got little short glimpses because he died early, but he was a military man, so he came home and I was just infatuated because I'm a boy, so it's all my dad's here. He was real disciplined. He only cared about sports, so it was naturally it made me that type of guy, and you get certain characteristics from just being passionate about sports and that because he was a coach, military, so I got a lot of just learning how to deal with other people and work as a team and the camaraderie from him. And then I learned how to just be a loving person and just have respect for people or you know
For him or from her?
the
both?
respect part is mainly my dad. I didn't really get enough time to really see that side of him, even though he didn't disrespect my mom or anything like that. But when it came to my mom, that was her main focus because she was into church around the time that I was coming up. So it was more of a spirituality journey that I went apart with her, and more of just be loving. Just because somebody do you wrong don't necessarily mean you have to do them wrong back. Just understand that just understand that a snake will bite you if you're around a snake. So just distance yourself from certain people, and at the end of the day, just treat people how you want to be treated. And
it's good.
Life will return you blessings and favors.
Yeah. What factors played major roles in shaping who you became?
I feel like the major factors in my role was, I think, having a lot of siblings growing up and having people that's basically on the same level as me but bigger, in that we have that love for each other because we're siblings. That was a major thing. And I say that because probably the biggest thing was my dad dying, was because I was 9 or 10. So I was living with him, I was taking care of him, and it forced me to grow up very early because losing a parent is a difficult thing, and I didn't understand how to process it at the time. So I had to go through a lot of
Process his death.
Yeah, I had to process the death, learn to accept it, and learn how to move on from it. And I really didn't do that until high school, but all throughout middle school and in high school, I had my siblings around to show me love, and my mom was there to because at the end of the day, I didn't understand that she was going through her too, because they was married at the time, so she lost her husband, I lost the dad, but I didn't really know my dad, so it was that part and her having to show extra love and help me understand that that nobody's to blame and life just happens, and sometimes life goes in ways that you don't want to, but you just got to learn how to overcome it. And God gives his biggest test to his strongest soldiers. So that's kind of I had to learn how to stop resenting resenting either God or just my life itself for the fact that I'm going through stuff but I know there's somebody out there without a mom or a dad. You know, I had an older brother that got adopted, so he never got to grow up with my mom. So just learning to be more optimistic with what you do have and not what you don't. And that was probably like the major factor, because now I can like go through life as an adult, and if I get hit with something I feel like it's too hard, I can still understand that, you know, there is an upside somewhere within it, or it could be worse somewhere else. So
Yeah, that's true. What family helped shape who you are or who you've became today?
Some family, I would have to say like my grandpa was like a big help in like becoming, cause my grandpa he
On your
wasn't
dad's
really
or your
on
mom?
my mom's side.
Mom's side.
My grandpa on my dad's side passed while I was born.
Oh.
The thing about it was like I was dealing with fresh off the heels of my dad dying, and then I was living in Tennessee at the time with him. So I came back, and my grandpa had moved in with my mom, and he was a Golden Gloves boxing champion or whatever.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so in the west side of Indiana, they call it Hallville. They would just call him the champ, and he was like known for being outside shadow boxing all the time.
Oh,
so when he lived with me, he was kind of like a inspiration almost in a way. So it was like I always wanted to like fight on him, because it's like you the champ, you know.
That's
who else
cool.
to be other than the champ? But he seen that, then he would take me to like Riverside Gym to like work on boxing with him and stuff. And I think that was like one of my first times indulging into like sports on like a serious level. And then that's kind of like what helped kind of pull me out of that slump of just like, you know, trying to find myself, or, you know, find something that I'm happy with outside of like video games and stuff.
Was that after your dad or before?
Yeah, that was after he passed. So probably like he passed, and then like I went back to my mom, and within like that year or two after he passed, I was with my grandpa doing that.
Yeah.
And then outside my grandpa, I would say my oldest brother, because my oldest brother has always been kind of like a father figure to me, because my dad like was either going from the military or he was dead, and he always would come and bring me gifts, or just, you know, show that he cared about me as a person, you know, go above and beyond as a sibling. So that's another one.
How did friends shape who the person that you've become?
My friends shaped me, and I would say, like, there's been times, of course, like when you go and you meet certain people and you learn like, all right, this person ain't for me.
Yeah.
So like, there's been times where I've learned through people, like, all right, when you see certain signs within a person, to keep that away from you, because it's no good. And then I've had, like, one of my closest friends, I've had him for like 13, 14 years. We've been friends. And I think that's purely off of the fact of we respect each other, and at the same time, we're honest with each other. So if we're in a situation, like if we're in a club or something, and I get into it with some guy, he'll be there to back me up 100%. But if I was the person in the wrong in that situation, after it's all said and done, we might be headed home from the club. He'll pull me to the side like, hey, you know, I got your back, but you was wrong in that situation. You could have handled it like this, or you didn't have to go out of your way to do that. I'm just saying, but, you know, it is what it is. And that's that type of mutual respect we got, because it's like, if we feel like you better than something, we'll let you know, or if we feel like you're not moving how you supposed to, then we'll like, hey, you need to do better about yourself. And I think friends that'll hold you accountable are the most important.
Yeah, for sure. That is good. How did enemies shape who you have become as a person?
Enemies, I feel like I kind of touched on that in the last one. I think it's just, I don't know. I don't really keep enemies, because it's like I'm out of the way, but I like, don't everybody likes what you do in life. So of course you'll have some people that just don't like you. And I feel like it shaped me in like almost in a way of just like understanding why, or just like having that moment of like looking in the mirror. It's like, okay, you're not, because everybody wants to be perfect, or has like some type of like, what's wrong with me type of moment. Ain't nothing really wrong with me. But then having enemies, it'll kind of point out certain areas that you probably might not be familiar of just like off of the strength of just like, why does this person push my buttons in the way that it does? And it makes you self-evaluate of just like, what can I, because like one thing like I've learned from my mom is like, if somebody can get you out of your body or like make your emotions rise over like how you personally think, then they got control over you. So it's like, I think how my enemies would do that is just like, I would take the time to self-reflect and understand like, all right, what did they do that made me feel a type of way, and why did it make me feel a type of way, and what can I work on to not that like have that bother me.
Yeah, that was a good one right there. How did experiences help shape who you've became as a person?
Experiences is, I feel like that's like the whole key of it all. It's kind of like a, what's joy without pain? So it's like for instance, um, how can I how can I it's like almost like nepotism in a way. Like you born into a family with money, you don't really understand or really value the dollar as much because it comes in abundance. So it's like compared to somebody who climbed their way up to the top that has $1 million. If he was born with $1 million in your account, it's just like, hey, it's just $1 million. So I'm kind of like veering off from the question, but I just feel like without being broke, you can never really truly enjoy the joy of having $1 million if you never had zero.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's like the hardships that I went through. It's like I don't like that I went through them, but I appreciate them because it allows me to be more appreciative of the times that I am living in peace, or things are going okay.
Yeah, that was a good one too. How have you helped shape somebody into who they've became as a person?
It's kind of crazy because probably a couple months ago, the same friend I was talking about that I've had for like 12 to 13 years, he's told me personally, like when we was like coming up in high school, that I inspired him to be a better person and the person that he is today. And that's a proud feeling to feel, because he was just like, we was in high school and I was broke or whatever, and it was like, you was the first person going to get a job, you was the first person wearing designer clothes, and you would always keep me around, and you would just try to like give me stuff or give me gifts, and you inspired me to go be that person. And and like there was a time where I was kind of down, and he was lifting me up. Like, bro, I'm not even, like, without you, I wouldn't even be in this position where I am to even try to lift you up. So it's like, that's probably one of my proudest moments, as just like being a friend to somebody.
Yeah. Hi guys, so I just want to take the moment to say thank you to Alex for participating in this project, this interview. Thank you. So today in my sociology class, I was able to conduct an interview with someone I've known for about 8 months. Is Alex Patton. He is my hopefully future son-in-law. Him and my daughter are expecting their first child any day now. And I thought that this would be a perfect opportunity to get to know who helped to shape him as a person. And I actually did find out some really cool information. He came from a big family. He was the baby of the family, or he is the baby in the family. His father was in the military. His father passed away at a Alex was only about 9-10 years old. His father passed away at a young age, so there was some hardship in the family that the extended family did pull it and help to make up for the loss in the family. And one of the people that helped Alex was his grandfather, and his grandfather was a boxer, and that actually did help Alex in the hard times dealing with his father's death. I also learned that his family is from Indianapolis. That he actually did go to a welding trade school. I did not know that. And I actually learned that he had some really good friends that helped to shape him and give him some very good values as a person. His mother as well. He talks about how strong she is, and where he got his kindness from and his understanding from. And then he talked about his experience with his friend, that his friend actually came and told him about a time that he helped to, that he was inspired by his friend. His friend was inspired by him to, to go out and get a job, and, to do the things that we all need to do in life. So that was really cool, and I really appreciate learning more about him and who helped to shape the person that he is.